Hey, yo, say hello to the bad guy, Scott Hall. In Your Head Online Radio.
All right, we're back. Welcome to In Your Head Wrestling Radio. I am the internet icon, the pride of the pilgrims, Jackie Jones, along with my right-hand man.
1-inch biceps, the power goat, luscious biceps. I forgot that one. I always like the pride of the pilgrims, though. Whenever you throw that saying out, it just melts my heart.
It's November, so I thought it'd be a good time to bring it back. And joining us right off the bat here, he's wondering what do these guys talk about. We've got the Maestro of wrestling. The Stro has returned to In Your Head. Ooh la la! How you doing?
Ooh la la! What's going on, guys?
He does a lot better than me.
He does. Not much is going on my end.
Well, if you guys want to call in tonight, it's 508-644-8503. And the Stro, he told me you can ask him anything. So be prepared.
Yeah, go right ahead. Happy to be here.
Excellent. It's always good to talk to you. We had you on a few years. Well, I think it was about 5 years ago, and of course we talked to you a lot at the Fan Fest every year. And you going to be going to the upcoming one? They're saying it's probably going to be the last one.
I'm working on that as we speak. I definitely want to be a part of it this year, and as soon as next few weeks, I'm hoping to get some details ironed out. So, especially them coming back to Charlotte, and what a great time I had last time. I was there. So, yeah, man, it's always a great time. If any listeners, if you haven't had a chance to partake in NWA Legends Fan Fest, I recommend it to anybody who's a wrestling fan. It's such an amazing time. It really is.
Yeah, we've gone the last 6 years, and everyone's so approachable. Then you meet a lot of the same people every year, and you get like friendships with them, and all the there's younger guys, and then there's a lot of legends from another era, and you probably would never get to meet otherwise. It's just such a great time.
It sure is, and Greg Price does such an outstanding job each and every year at those fan fests. So I mean, if you get a chance, anybody's listening in, please check it out. NWA Legends Fan Fest in August. It's going to be a great time.
Now, last time we talked to you at the Fan Fest 2 years ago, you actually challenged Adam Pearce for the NWA title, and you went on to have a really memorable match with him. It was like I believe it was an hour time limit match. What are your thoughts of work with Adam Pearce?
Well, it's this past year has been incredible. I've had quite a few matches with Adam Pearce. Other than that one, last month I had another title match with him as well, to where we wrestled for the title the night before we did a 6-man tag together, and it was it's incredible. I mean, we've had stellar matches from February up to last month, and it's just like being in the ring with him. I've really had newfound respect for Scrap Iron. He's a tough competitor. He's definitely, a fighting champion. And every time we've gotten in the ring together, it's been like magic. We've had some great matches, and I'm looking forward to many more in pursuit of the NWA World Title.
2011 is wrapping up, so you said it was going to be a Stro for the gold this year.
Yeah, it's it, man. It's been a great year as far as getting NWA World Title matches and so forth, and representing NWA Mountain State, which is a always growing NWA promotion down in West Virginia. It's got some great talent: Ricky Shane, Billy Litt, Lance Erickson, Johnny Blast. I mean, Scotty Rains. The list goes on. So I'm really happy to be part of that promotion and to help represent it along with the NWA.
Yeah. Now, Adam Pearce is a funny guy outside of the ring. Have you ever traveled with him or anything like that?
Oh yeah, he's great. Yeah, he's a great. I've had dinner with him and everything, and he's he's a really real class act out of the way. And like I said, we've had some stellar matches this past year, and Stro for the gold thing. It's what really take per se for this year. It's just a quest, and my quest hasn't stopped, and it won't stop until the gold's around my waist.
Oh, we got a call here on the line. Thunder, he called an early one to talk to you. Thunder, you're online with the Stro. You got a question?
What's up, bro?
Hello, Thunder.
Stro. How you doing, man? How you been?
Fabulous. How you doing?
All right. So, have you made any new release movies lately?
Well, I got quite a few on DVD right now. A couple of horror movies, 12/24, Dead or Country, a gangster movie, Legend of Johnny Small Tie, just to name a few. One of the horror movies I'm working on is still kind of supposed to redo remakes in Coss Island, and also the Indie Wrestler, which I did earlier this year, is out on DVD as well. So, and I got some other projects coming up. So just keep your eyes and ears open. Just you can go to my website for all the info on me and with the latest at thestro.com, THESTRO.com.
Well, the link right on the website there, Thunder. In case you can't spell that, you can just click right on it.
How's the school going, Stro? The training's
Doing great. Great. I've really been fortunate to have some great bunch of kids, and the graduates have been doing great. Matter of fact, one of my graduates from my school, Casey Knight, who's a really very talented wrestler, just came back of tour Japan recently, and he's really making strides and everything. So it's going really good, really good.
I heard about you being in WWE magazine. Are you going to be signing with WWE?
Well, nothing's been talked about as of this time, even though they've really given me a lot of exposure this past year. I've had a few appearances in their magazines this past year, as well as on their website and Facebook, and pretty flattering, I might say. That it's nice to still be, they still remember me and my accomplishments, back in WCW.
Mm-hmm.
So, but you never know. It's a crazy business, and, never say never. You never know where I end up, so I usually keep my options open, so just keep your eyes and ears open for me.
When you have the wrestling school, is there anything in particular you think that some of the younger guys on the indie scene today might not have learned that, like, you learned when you were training?
Well, basic ring psychology. Ring psychology is everything. I mean, it can make or break a match, and it can make or break any wrestling style you have. And knowing what to do, when not to do, knowing to speed up, when to slow down, knowing how to put a reality base into your match and to what you're all about. Because a lot of times, when guys want to do certain things, they lose the people, and people want to be brought into your world, and to do that, you got to bring them in your world and into your match and through your craft. And good wrestling is a lost art, and I'm really hoping to do my part in the business to keep it alive and pass on the art of wrestling to other guys, to where they can pass on the teaching to other future stars as well. I mean, the wrestling business is just like a cycle, and if you don't teach the proper way now, then you'll get lost in the shuffle, and it'll be a lost art.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, you've got to do your part, and which I'm doing, trying to do, as well as others in the business, to keep the wrestling business alive and keep it flourishing.
Yeah. Were there any particular guys that when you were starting out that you would say really helped you a lot?
Oh, I've had quite a few. From Jerry Lawler, Jake Snake Roberts, Ivan Koloff, the Andersons, Nelson Royal, Bill Dundee. I mean, the list goes on. I mean, I've really had some very great people in this business. I mean, from Randy Savage, God rest his soul, Bam Bam Bigelow. I mean, just dropped a few names, but Wahoo McDaniel, Rodney Garvin, just, some of the greats in this business that have been there, that have been made successes for themselves and know what to do in and out of the ring and the travels and basically in life.
Mm-hmm.
But they were very fortunate, and I was very fortunate to learn from them. And so that's why I do my part in the business, to help, teach others what was taught to me and what's helped me be, get to where I am now, and to help them move on to be successful in the wrestling industry.
Mm-hmm. Now, I always read that Macho Man helped you get to WCW, and he wanted the Gorgeous George name for his valet. Is that what happened?
Well, it started off that way, but in retrospect, we through it all, we got to be really good friends, and he was really a big fan of my granduncle from years ago, Gorgeous George.
Yeah.
So I mean, and that too, per se, that's how I got really good friends with Ric Flair, because he was also a big fan, the original Gorgeous George. So It's a crazy business how you meet people and being friends with the business. It's just like, well, back in the day, it used to be more like family. You know, everybody looked out for each other, and it was a closed-in clique where not just anybody can be in the wrestling business. You know, it was just, and they prefer it that way to protect themselves and the industry and to keep the art alive, per se. And nowadays, you know, wrestling industry has changed drastically from those days. But I mean, you know, a lot of the veterans, a lot of people that have been around for years, they have the same mentality, the same philosophy in the business. You know, to look out for one another, to be family. To, you know, because we're all doing the same thing. We're all putting our bodies in the line in the ring each and every night. We're all entertaining the people from town to town, and we're all doing our share. So, I mean, really, it should still be that way. You know, wrestling business should still be a family. You know, the guys and gals, everybody in there, we're all, you know, doing our part, doing our thing.
Yeah. I actually, I heard that Randy said, you know, it was not too long ago before he passed away. It was he actually felt bad that he used the theme song for so long because you know, he used it because that was his hero, and that he kind of felt like maybe stole it from him. But do you think Gorgeous George, original one, would have minded?
Well, I'm sure the original George would have been very proud of where he took it and what heights he took it in the industry. And, you know, I mean, and there's no hard feelings on my part whatsoever. I'm sure there wouldn't be on the part of, you know, the original as well. So, I mean, Randy will always be a legend.
Have you heard anything about the movie? I heard that, you know, one time WWE was planning on making a Gorgeous George film.
I've heard rumors about it, and I've heard, you know, they're wanting to start production with it, but that's as far as it goes. I haven't heard any more to follow after that, so your guess is as good as mine.
Yeah, I'd definitely like to see it. But,
absolutely.
Yeah. Thanks for calling in, Thunder.
All right, I appreciate y'all. Stro, you thought about doing a book?
Thank you, buddy.
Yeah, he asked his last question there. He was just going to take over the whole interview, but he wanted to know if you were going to write a book.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I'm working on it right now as we speak. You know, I'm just trying to get with the right publisher to get the wheels turning, so to speak. And I just want this book here to be a fun book. So, like, with somebody 10 years down the road can read about it, you know, it's like, hey, this guy really had a lot of fun doing what he loved the most. And I've got plenty of funny road stories to put in there. Oh, my goodness, through the years, and great people I've met and great places I've been. It's been, you know, he's passed over 20-some years in the business. It's been amazing. And I'm just like my buddy Nick Dinsmore always referred to all the time, the LTD, man. I've been living the dream for a while now. It's just been really, really cool.
Who are some of the funnest guys to travel with?
Oh, my goodness. It's quite a few, you know. I've had experiences with some of the fellows through the years. I mean, too many to call, man. I mean, geez. I mean, I've had a few stories with Tommy Rich and a few counters with Terry Funk, and you know, I mean, the list goes on. So, yeah. I mean,
something I wanted to ask you about, because we had her on the show, Ryan Shamrock, and she was your valet, Symphony, in WCW, and now, she was really nice on the show, but it really came off that she knew absolutely nothing about wrestling whatsoever, even stuff that she was part of. Like, she even just admitted that she had no idea about anything. What was it hard to work with her, or what was the experience like?
No, actually, you know, she was a total sweetheart. It was such a pleasure to work with her and to be with her, you know, during the run of the WCW, and it was great. You know, it was funny. I had a couple of choices, you know, before they decided to go with Alicia. You know, the manager, one being Bobby Heenan, which, you know, I've always thought the world of Bobby. But Bobby, at the time, told me, he said to me that, you know, he was too busy with the commentating and all that for the TV and all that. So my second choice was Sherry Martel. Who, you know, I've always thought the world of Sherry Martel as well. I mean, a legendary ladies wrestler in the business, and pretty much done it all and managed some of the greats in the business. And, you know, she's just about got the gig. But the office, they decided to go with Alicia, which, you know, which was fine. I mean, she, real classy lady, and it was a pleasure to work with her.
Intern, do you have any questions from the board?
Yeah, I had one from J. Mike on your Facebook page here. He wants to know your thoughts on wrestling Tank Abbott in WCW.
Well, actually, I never wrestled Tank Abbott. The only thing that I, even though I would have liked to be honest, because we both come from shoot backgrounds. He does MMA, and I have a background in MMA as well. And the only thing we did sort of in WCW was like a little skit where involving myself, Ming, Norman Smiley, and so forth. Where I guess I was in the ring, right? And he comes out and beats the big bad Tank Abbott, and I look at him and brush him off and start waving the conductor's wand at the crowd, and I get attacked from behind by Tank Abbott. But that was about the gist of the skit. You know what I mean? But there was no particular match. I was really hoping to have a match with him to where we both can showcase our skill.
Mm-hmm.
So, but just like a lot of things in WCW that kind of was going in one direction, it kind of shifted to another. you know what I mean? So, but yeah, I mean.
What was it?
We've never wrestled officially, no.
Yeah. What was it just like being a part of Nitro, where you said things would change so much, and was it hectic, or was it exciting? What was it just like the overall feel of it?
But when I was there, I mean, the talent was the best in the world.
Mm-hmm.
Literally, you had the best talent from all over the world: Japan, Mexico, Europe, the United States, Canada. I mean, it was like a who's who of the wrestling business there. And, I mean, it was hard to have a bad match with anybody because you had all this great talent. And I was really fortunate to be in the ring and have great matches with a lot of the guys there. And that wasn't the problem. The problem was just management.
Mm-hmm.
And the management was just it's a cluster. It was just everybody was butting heads and nobody could agree on anything. And it was just a lot of times we didn't know what we were doing until like a few minutes before we got out there at certain points. But it was a shame because if management would have kept everything together, I mean, I'm surely feel that WCW would still be alive.
Oh yeah,
yeah. Definitely.
I still miss it. I mean, I always preferred NWA and WCW, and just during that time period, Monday nights, I'd watch all of Nitro, and I'd record Raw, or vice versa, and I'd really look forward to that every Monday night, like 5 hours of wrestling.
But heck, man, I had a great time on being there. Guys like Flair and Funk and Hogan and Savage and Piper and the great like Ultimo Dragon, Rey Mysterio, the Steiner brothers. I mean, my goodness. I mean, it was. I had a blast in WCW.
The blue guy in the chat room wants to know what was it like to meet James Brown.
Oh, it was an extreme pleasure. I mean, it was funny because he knew my great uncle Gorgeous George years back. And he was a fan of his, and it was kind of neat how we kind of broke the ice, and it was just it was an amazing moment meeting him, and I mean, real class act guy, and I felt really honored to even to be a part of anything that he was a part of.
Yeah.
So I mean, it was a great moment.
Mm-hmm. Along those lines here, Road Dogg, he wants to know your thoughts on Ernest The Cat Miller.
Ernest The Cat Miller. Very entertaining guy. Exceptional martial artist. I mean, some of the kicks he would throw at me were fantastic. I ain't gonna lie. A lot of times, even in our matches, I would do more of the wrestling bit, and he would do a lot of the mixed, like the karate and that stuff that he knew really well, the martial arts, and he was really good for mixing his knowledge of the martial arts with being entertaining at the same time. And so, I mean, he was, very, very talented individual, Ernest Miller.
Yeah. He was really entertaining.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Intro, do you have a question?
Yeah, I had a question from Spec-Son off of our message board. He brings up that he thinks you would have a good tag partner in the artist formerly known as Prince Iaukea. He wants to know your feelings on that.
Now, there's another guy who, he's of relation to the legendary King Curtis.
Mm-hmm.
And, his family was also embedded in the wrestling industry as well. Very talented very talented guy, and he was another one that I, really was a pleasure to be in the ring with during my time in WCW, and we had some good matches together, and he's real class act guy there.
Yeah, I didn't know he was actually related. I always knew, the name, but I thought maybe someone just came up with the name given, but I didn't know they were actually related. Whose idea was that gimmick? Do you know?
The artist.
Yeah. Well, actually, the first one, the Prince Iaukea.
Prince Iaukea was basically that was his.
Mm-hmm.
That was his deal.
Yeah. Was the artist who was that?
Now the artist was management. Later on.
Yeah.
So as well as mine, being from Gorgeous George and Maestro.
Yeah. Don't hear much from Prince Iaukea anymore. I wonder where he's at.
Well, if you do, please give him my best, man. He's real class, that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot of guys from that era, though. I've always wondered what happened to. Like Jerry Flynn was a guy who used to be on Nitro a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, he wasn't like a real huge name, but I always thought he's pretty good. Do you know whatever happened to him?
Sure. I haven't heard from him in quite a while, but yeah, very very cool guy, and he was also had a knowledge of kickboxing and martial arts.
And it was also a guy I always liked the gimmick. You'd always be on Worldwide and stuff. Was the Gambler?
Yeah. We used to tag together down in Memphis.
Oh yeah.
With the Lawless territory.
Oh, I love that.
USWA.
I thought he should have been like a bigger star on the show. I really dug like the look and just him throwing cards at people to begin the match.
He had potential. and all the tools to be a major star anywhere he went.
Mm-hmm.
And very, very underrated.
Yeah. Do you know if he's still in the business or?
I'm not sure. I haven't heard from him for quite some time, but he was a really good guy.
Mm-hmm. There's a lot of questions here in our chat room. Eric Lee Lewis wants to know your thoughts on Vince Russo.
Vince Russo, well, he was a visionary and he had ideas. But the ideas he had, I don't think particularly went well with certain promotions that he worked with. Like, for example, WCW. Some of the ideas he threw around didn't necessarily click because WCW is a whole new breed of animal for, say, WWE, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so forth. And then that's why I think that's where the problems lied, and that's why there's a lot of friction there, at the time. And, if Russo would have spread his vision to, a lot of the company, because, I mean, it was just like, certain people would get his vision, and certain people would be left out, if you get my drift. And if it was just if he had realized the background of a company like WCW and knew it was more about wrestling tradition and all that, and applied his ideas that way, I think things would have worked out a lot better than the way they did.
Yeah.
So.
Do you think he was open to people from the wrestling business trying to help him out to mold his idea, kind of like we said, mold his ideas to fit the wrestling business, or do you think he was more just worried about getting his way?
Well, we saw what happened. So it is what it is.
Yeah. Afro here in the chat room wants to know your thoughts on making your WCW debut versus Sting.
That was really great. I mean, here I am in the ring with the top hero of the whole company. The franchise, man. Mm-hmm. I mean, it was really great, and it really got my feet set for what lied ahead with the company. And so, I mean, I think some people took it different ways, but I took it as being, an honor, even being in the ring with a guy like Sting, for my first time out. So, it's like, I was pretty happy.
Earlier, Thunder brought up some of your horror films, and Intra and I here, we do the wrestling show, we have to do a horror movie show, but how did you get involved in horror movies?
Oh, it was just... My first one, 1224, is with Anthony Coliano. He's a film director out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, with Gargoyle Entertainment. Mm-hmm. And he's a big wrestling fan, and he got a hold of me and told me about the movie and the script, and he was all involved, and I was excited to be part of it, and I did it, and then things just kind of snowballed from there, getting other opportunities with different films. And so, I've also done a few things with One Tree Hill, mm-hmm. TV series as well in the past. So, I mean, it's I'm just hoping to keep rolling with it and see where it takes me.
Yeah, I know you're the Dead or Country got a lot of buzz and it won an award at one of the conventions, right?
Right. Yeah. Well, actually, that and 1224 both won awards down the Pittsburgh Horror Film Convention this past year, and with best film, which was I was a big honor there, and
yeah.
So I mean, but yeah, I'm just I'm just ride it out, see where it takes me. I'd love to do more films. I'm currently working on more film projects, for the upcoming year as well. So I'm hoping, to take it as far as I can take it.
Mm-hmm. Are you a horror movie fan yourself?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I like horror movies, I like comedies. I love humor. I'm all about humor. I mean, matter of fact, speaking of humor, I've got a few YouTube videos I did with my girlfriend, Christy. Mm-hmm. You can check out on YouTube. We got our own YouTube channel, Stro and Christy Kiss. That's the YouTube name. Check it out. We got some wrestling parodies, and I've done with Iron Sheik and Dusty Rhodes and Mick Foley and so on, and Macho Man. So I mean, you got to check it out when you get a chance.
Yeah, I did. I saw you putting the camel clutch on Hulk Hogan.
And he was all blown up, right?
Exactly. And I probably shouldn't say this, but our webmaster Tyler, he's very fond of your girlfriend in your videos.
Oh, wow. Well, I'm sure she'll appreciate that.
Yeah. I cleaned that up a bit, but yeah, he's very fond of her.
She's a real sweetheart. She's a great gal, and I love her to death. I mean, all the kidding and joking aside, she's really a wonderful lady.
Intro, was there some more questions? There's a lot in the chat.
Nikhil, he had from the chat room. He wants to know your thoughts on the rise and fall of WCW DVD, if you've seen it.
Well, it's interesting, see when WWE puts on, they get information on certain things like the rise and fall of WCW, and I got a cameo on that DVD as well. So, it's been crazy this past year. I've been getting all this exposure from the WWE, and I've even posted online. Hey, thank you, WWE. I'm flabbergasted that
mm-hmm.
and but hey, I think it's great. And with the DVD, the rise and fall of WCW, I mean, they were dead on a lot of things. They really were. I got to give them that. And per se, granted, keep in mind this is a WWE production, and they're not going to let the WCW have too many props, if you will.
Right.
You know what I mean? But in the same token, it was very well done DVD, and I would definitely recommend anybody that was interested in buying it, check it out.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Travis Ayers from our Facebook account, he wants to know your favorite match of all time, any promotion.
Oh gosh, too many. I know the recent ones will have to be the ones with Adam Pearce this past year. There were some incredible matches. The one in February, we went to the 45-minute draw, and the one we did in Princeton, West Virginia last month was it was incredible. Match with him, Rob Van Dam, which was, Rob Van Dam was one of those guys that, we can get in the ring blindfolded and have great matches.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Incredible. And, I know Triple Mania main event was really good in Mexico. I did 8-man tag with Jake Snake Roberts and Octagon and a Latin Lover and all that. That was a really good one.
Mm-hmm.
Matchup I had earlier in my career, Chief Walker McDaniel and Ivan Koloff. Those were some really good matches. and Smoky Mountain, the match I had with Chris Candido, God rest his soul, and Bobby Blaze were really some good matches. And with WCW, too many to call, man. I mean, like I said, everybody was just top notch there. So I mean, those are just some of the few of the many.
Yeah. Now, you mentioned the movie Indie Wrestler. Where can you get that?
Indie Wrestler?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know yet where the market's at for the DVD that's out there, but just keep on lookout for the Indie Wrestler. It should be out in DVD. Just look at Amazon or so forth. That's all I know to say. That I really don't know, their outlet. But I mean, Amazon, you can find Dead or Country. DVD, the hard movie I'm in, Dead or Country, and to get a copy of DVD of 1224, just go to Gargoyle Entertainment. Look up that on the Facebook or MySpace, or Anthony Coliano, Colliano, on the Facebook, and he can probably help you out with that.
Yeah. Now, the movie Indie Wrestler, who's involved in that? I saw some clips on YouTube.
Well, the one that should be out DVD will be Ricky Morton, Tracy Smothers, and Larry Zbyszko, and myself, as well as some others. Yeah.
It looked pretty good. It looked really good. I have to try to find a copy of that.
Yeah, but just keep an eye for those movies out in the outlets, and on Amazon and Facebook and all that. So, and also I always have posted information of the movies on my website, Stro.com. More info.
Yeah. Can you actually play the piano?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, that was me playing it for sure in WCW. Jimmy Hart and I collaborated together, and he gave me the sheet music to write.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
We put together, and we played it. And a lot of times I would have to put the bass on the piano, because I mean the crowd noise was just deafening. The Nitros, man. That was back when they were just packing the houses.
Yeah,
it was incredible.
He's a guy that no one ever says anything bad about is Jimmy Hart. Is he as nice as everyone says? Yeah.
Yeah, Jimmy's a great guy, man, and very, very talented too as well. Very gifted.
I always like a lot of his theme songs he's used in wrestling, but he helped write in wrestling.
Well, he used to work a lot with a guy named Derringer, who's also a very talented musician. So.
Now, have you had many injuries in wrestling?
Well, I have, but knock on wood, nothing's kept me out for a long duration. I remember one time I was in a match with Balls Mahoney in Cleveland, Ohio, where I went for a Takamishinoku dive off the top to the outside on Balls Mahoney, and fan ran right in front of him before I, connected, and I shifted my body to avoid hitting the fan when I, fell on Balls Mahoney, and when I did, it tore a ligament behind my hamstring there.
Oh God.
Yeah, and I finished the match, believe it or not.
Yeah.
We went for another 15 minutes, and I remember doing a German suplex on Balls Mahoney. That's the most painful German suplex I ever did in my whole life.
Yeah, I assume so.
I had, what I mean? 'Cause I do a lot of wrestling submissions and all that. Matter of fact, I used to spar a lot with Regal and Finley, from the guys back in WCW. So those guys are just phenomenal technicians.
Yeah, I always wished Regal would be on TV more. He's always one of my favorite guys.
I tell you, this was a complete shoot. Guys like him and Haku would be world champions 10 times over.
If it was
Regal is double tough, man. I'm sitting there one time in Orlando, Florida, hanging out with Sting and Teddy Long while talking, and William Regal sitting there, listening to headphones, listening to the Beats music, reading a book. He fell asleep, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Joey Maggs, I don't know if you guys remember Joey Maggs.
Oh yeah, Jumpin' Joey Maggs. Yep.
Yeah, he comes up to us and says, "I can take him," right? And we're all looking at him going, Joey, don't do it. You crazy. Right? So Joey sneaks in. He goes to pounce on Regal. Next thing you know, you hear a big thud, right? And Regal had him tied up in something I've never seen before in my entire life. It almost looked like a Kama Sutra. And Regal was tying him up, letting pretzel and like yawning at the same time. And we were laughing. Oh my goodness, it was so funny. Regal is definitely, he's one of the toughest guys in the business, hands down. I mean, very nice individual, very cordial, very polite, real gentleman-like. Mm-hmm. But man, he can go when he wants
to. Do you know any of those different holds? If you'd have to put them on somebody.
Yeah, I do actually. I know I get ribbed on all the time. You mean shooter, hooker, and all that. You know what I mean? Yeah. Matter of fact, Cornette ribbed me there one time at the Legends Fan Fest, the Hall of Heroes bit. Mm-hmm. They were inducting that night. They were inducting in Hodge and Billy Robinson, Mr. Hodge and Billy Robinson to the Hall of Heroes, and I was shaking their hands, right? And then Cornette yells, "Hey guys, be careful! He's a shooter!" Like, oh my God! And then here comes Billy, and Hodge gives me the stance, like, oh my God, Jimmy gonna try to kill me? You got these guys. But it was a big rib, but we were all. But those were some of my heroes growing up. Billy Robinson, Mr. Hodge. Oh yeah. Danny Hodge, man, he was.
Danny Hodge still enjoys putting those holds on people for photos.
Oh yeah. And still undefeated, man.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
He had quite the handshake.
Yeah, and Billy's like a wrestling historian. He's like a college professor of pro wrestling. Mm-hmm. I mean, he'll sit there and give you a lesson about it, man. I mean, he's just fascinating.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, that was the same year that Jim Ross was inducted in Danny Hodge, I think, right?
Uh-huh.
And Cornette was sitting behind him, right? And every time Jim Ross would speak, there was some noise that goes to the PA, like someone's cutting the gas.
Right.
Cutting the cheese, right? And every like so many minutes, it would go off, and Jim kept turning around to Jimmy there and said, "My God, Jimmy, what did you eat?" And Jimmy was rolling. Oh my God, that was a fun night.
Yeah, that was awesome. That was a night. We were sitting with Funk, I believe, that night, Terry Funk.
Yeah.
Yeah. Remember Dory telling the story about there were people they were banging on the door wanting to fight him.
Uh-huh.
And that town they went to, and then the police got him down and handcuffed him, and Terry barged out the door and said, "Let me at him." Mm-hmm. And then Terry stood up and he said, "Yeah, I kicked all their asses." Terry, man, I told Terry I wish to God I could adopt him as an uncle.
Yeah, it'd be sweet, Uncle Funker.
Did I ever tell you guys a chicken story?
No.
Oh my God! Well, if we got time, I'll tell you this real quick.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Okay, I'm all right. Super Brawl, man. 2000. This is the one, with Ernest The Cat Miller. We're doing promos earlier today, and I'm waiting to do mine about Ernest, and here's Terry getting ready to do his about Flair that night, right? Well, Terry has this trash bag, and everybody's asking Terry, "What's in the trash bag?" Right? And Terry gives everybody the same response. He says, "I'm saving it for the interview." Right? So the interview starts. Terry reaches that bag, pulls out this dead chicken. He got I think that's from his ranch somewhere, right?
Yeah.
And I don't know where he got it from. He said, "You say this chicken, now chicken pirate's anatomy to that of one Ric Flair. See these skinny legs? These are the legs of Ric Flair. See this skin? This is the skin of Ric Flair. See this beak? This is the schnoz of Ric Flair. And I'm going to take Ric Flair by the neck." And he's grabbing the chicken as he's saying this now. "And I'm going to whip him like that dog that he is." He's beating the chicken on the ground. Feathers flying everywhere. Friggin' Dustin holding his ribs laughing, right? The cameraman shaking his camera. I'll spit out my water, and the whole joint's laughing, right? Later on that night, I get back to the hotel, and the bellboy's running around next to luggage and everything, the parking lot, was running around with the same trash bag in his hand. And I was curious. I was like, "Hey, kid, what's in the trash bag? What are you running around the parking lot for?" And the bellboy was like, some old man gave me this dead chicken, and I don't know what to do. It was scary, you know.
Yeah.
Okay, here's one more for you while I'm on the roll here.
All right.
This is a story that Roddy Piper told me a while back, and I can't do him justice because he's when he says something so funny, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But this was back in '75 when he was out in the Pacific Northwest, you know, the bar territory.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they're going to debut this cat known as Madman, who dressed up like Batman, but due to DC comic book rights, they had to call him Madman. But he still had a Batman outfit, you know.
Uh-huh.
Well, the deal was Al Madrigal was the heel at the time. The big bad guy would do his little promo set with the announcer. And Madman would come out and jump on top of the table like a superhero and says, "I'm Madman," right?
Uh-huh.
But keep in mind, 1975, no editing, live TV. So if you screw up, oh well, right? So TV starts. Al Madrigal cuts his promo in front of everybody with the commentator, right?
Mm-hmm.
Here comes Madman. Jumps on top of the table. Slips, falls, busts around the floor. Everybody's howling. Right? You know, Al Madrigal and the announcers look at each other, and the commentator takes the mic and says, "Who are you?" and puts the microphone on the Madman, just all sprawled out on the floor, all messed up. And he says, "I'm Madman. So all your friends." And it gets better. Later on that night was the debut match, quote unquote, of Madman, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the opponent's waiting for him. He comes out with a Batman outfit, you know, boomity boom. They start the match, slams the guy, climbs to the top rope, extends his hands like Jimmy Superfly Snuka, like he's doing the big splash, right?
Mm-hmm.
But what he didn't realize was there's loose wires protruding from the top of the building. And when one of his hands touched those wires, sparks flew, blacks out the whole joint. Everybody screaming, "Oh, God!" Right? 30 seconds later or so, the lights come back on, right? Here's a smoking Madman on the top rope, falls face first to the canvas like a tree, gets cut down. Timber, boom, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sniffs the guy like a mile, right? So the referee, he don't know what the hell to do. So he takes the extra crispy smoking Madman on top of the guy and counts 1, 2, 3. So that was the beginning now and the end of Madman. Amazing. And I'm still trying to find this on YouTube somewhere.
Yeah.
You'll be the first to know when I find it.
That'd be sweet.
Yeah, that'd be great for YouTube or something.
God bless Roddy Piper, man. I swear, he's great.
Yeah, that's who we were lucky enough to sit with this year at the Fan Fest. So it's Terry Funk last year, Roddy Piper this year. Can't get much better than that.
Yeah, I think I'm sitting next to, I think it's either Tully or Dad Joe Blanchard that year. Yeah, that was a good time.
Mm-hmm. Well, man,
I love those Q&As that Cornette does. It's pretty funny.
Oh yeah, he's a great guy to host the whole event.
He's awesome.
Mm-hmm. So, but that's another part too. Everybody listening of the Fan Fest. It's we've been at every one of the Hall of Heroes, so really proud about that.
That's awesome. Yeah, I can't wait to go this year. It's gonna be great.
Mm-hmm. And they're on DVD too. Anybody out there, can't get there to see it live, you can buy the DVD. It's probably doesn't quite live up to actually being there, but it's still pretty sweet.
Awesome.
All right, we get enough plugs here for Greg Price, but it's NWA Legends talk. But we should plug this site because he's on here right now. It's thestro.com. And like you said, you can find out all the appearances, all the different things you're up to, and anything you want to tell everybody out there before we let you go?
Oh, yeah. Well, I just want to say anybody's been a fan of mine, a friend, what have you, that loves pro wrestling, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. Not only my heart, but everybody that's been in the business. Some guys and gals, young and old, we love you guys. I appreciate you guys so much. I mean, you guys are the reason why we do what we do. And, continue on doing what we do. God bless pro wrestling. God bless the people that support pro wrestling. And, for now and many years to come. And, like I said, check out my website for the latest on me, thestro.com, THESTRO.com. Info, upcoming events for the month. This weekend I'll be in Hinton, West Virginia at the Simmons County Memorial Building for NWA Mountain State television taping. Bell time is 7:30. Next weekend, I'm making my return to Wilmington, North Carolina, Trask Middle School, November 19th for FWE action. Bell time will be 7:30 as well. So come on out and see me for those great events. And you guys. I want to thank you. I want to thank the fans. I want to thank all the wrestling family, that's listening as well. All my love, all my best. And if I don't talk to you guys before, then I hope you have a wonderful Thanksgiving and Christmas, and God bless you.
Thanks, man. Really appreciate coming on. It's always a lot of fun talking to you.
And a shout out to same here, brother, and Christy. If you're out there listening, baby, I love you. Love you very much.
That's sweet. Thanks, man. Can we just keep here for a second? Oh, sorry. I interrupted the ooh la la. I feel terrible.
Oh, here we go. One more time. Ooh la la.
Excellent.
This is the rocker Marty Jannetty, and you're listening to IYHWrestling.com.